Women. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to yet another episode of Women Power, a global movement started by DK Bakshi, who's a well-known global business HR leader, who's taken a mission of having 1 million women on this platform by 2024, irrespective of caste, creed, color, nationality, and religion. Today, this movement is spread in 20 countries around the world, and Mr. D.K. Bakshi is also titled as the Honorable Women Power in the World for this mission. Today, we have a very special guest from Toronto, Samera. My name is Shikha Gupta. I'm the chapter head for South India, Women Power, along with my amazing co-host, Pradnya, who's the Women Power head for UK. I'd like to introduce my co-host first. Pradnya Punekar is a founder at Katha Stories Unheard, an NGO which envisions to inspire, empower, educate, ideate women entrepreneurs and women community around the world. She's also a senior HR professional and a career coach, helping organizations and individuals to unleash their true potential, purpose, and achieve their dreams. She has been the winner of Mrs. India UK 17. Wow, more power to you, lady. She's honored to be associated with Women Power, which is a global movement, a movement which is very close to her heart, and she's passionately working towards it. A big thank you to DK Bakshi for starting this movement and giving her the opportunity to be a part of it. Next comes me, Shikha Gupta, HR professional, working as a talent acquisition head with one of the IT companies in Bangalore. I'm currently serving as the chapter head for South India for Women Power. I'm also associated with a lot of NGOs, and I keep working on a lot of women empowerment and youth empowerment NGOs. Also a registered TED Circles host. So that's me in a nutshell. Now we come to the most interesting part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest today, Samera Zoberi, who is a health entrepreneur currently working to enhance her online platform as an integrative health coach, encompassing her career experience in rehabilitation consulting, business, and finance roles. Wow, now that's interesting. She has been associated with several foundations and NGOs supporting women globally, including Brilliant Minded Women, African Women in Leadership Organizations, and Miracle Gate International. Interesting. She also has been involved in several advisory boards, positions for professionals, business development, and charity organizations in Canada. She has also enjoyed several PR and event planning positions for entertainment, fashion, beauty, wellness industries as well. She believes that true women empowerment starts at home, raising her children with greater self-awareness. Fantastic. A very, very warm welcome, Samera, from Pradnya, Shikha, and DK Bakshi to our show this evening.
Okay, well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's such an honor to be invited here on this platform to speak to everyone about the topic of women empowerment. I think that, it all starts from the home. So yeah, I'm really excited, and it's wonderful to know that all of us can contribute by listening to all of our stories and be inspired. So thank you.
Welcome, Samera, and thanks, Shikha, for the lovely introduction of all of us.
Thank you, Pradnya. It's amazing to be hosting my first show with you. Welcome to Women Power.
Okay. Same here, Shikha.
Lovely. Yes, wonderful to meet both of you as well. As I said, it's a global movement. You know, we can do so much with our technology, but there's a lot of inspiring opportunities for people to listen and to develop that potential within. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity as well.
Amazing. So let's start right from the start. Let's take you down the memory lane. You know, the best days of anybody's life are the childhood days, right? It would be really great to know a little bit about your upbringing as a girl child. What were the challenges? What kind of environment were you brought up in? A little dope on that, Samera. Yeah.
Well, I was born here actually I was born in Kuwait. My parents came in their early 20s to Canada, and my father was in British Airways, and it led him to opportunities here. And I just was born in a very loving, protective family. My parents, intrigued the qualities of, work hard, get a good education and follow your dreams here. The main thing is, you continue with that, you help establish the values. Um, you know, Growing up in Canada, one of the major things was being able to keep to our Eastern heritage. I give a tribute to a lot to that to my mom. My mom was very excellent homemaker, gave me a lot of strength to be able to know, having a strength at home, being able to, do my education, etc. I was always intrigued with learning. That's always been something that I like to do. And so it gave me the opportunity, especially here in Canada, to really explore my talent, etc. So that was really, really great. Um, I think a lot of the other, another thing was as we had, different people, uh, as the community was growing, we kind of were able to really connect with different families here that became our families. So we were around a lot of culture and different events, and we were pioneering a lot of things. So it gave a lot of confidence to know about our Eastern heritage while we were living up in the Western society. But yeah, I would say a loving, protective environment as a girl child, and then going from there. So.
How lovely to know that, right, Pragya? A lovely.
Wonderful. It was really, really, really great, Shikha. I think the aspect that she especially mentioned about continuous learning, Samira, is something which is so important, for all of us. And to hear that from a health coach like you, it's really
Yes.
wonderful.
I wanted to add also that one of the emphasis that I made, well, something that I'm really blessed with is the opportunity to live in a multicultural society and being able to see the perspective. But because I was understanding, about our Eastern heritage and our values and different things, I was able to be confident about who I am because we're really trying to, understand that. And it also brought upon a lot of opportunities to understand health and wellness as well from different perspectives. So you're able to learn, see things from around the world, and it really gives you more insight as to what you need to do. What are the gaps? What are the things that you can do better?
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Wow. Wonderful. That's really wonderful, Samira. It's so nice to begin the show. Like Shika had a wonderful question at the beginning of the show as to where did you start, and it's something so unique and close to our hearts. Moving on, Samira, if you could just throw some light on a little bit upon your background and tell us a little bit about your parents. Of course, I remember you sharing that your respected father, was in the British Airways. But if you could throw more light upon, your background, a little bit upon your upbringing, and where do you belong, and a little bit about your respected parents, all of us, we and our audiences would love to know about it.
Well, as I said, my parents left Pakistan in their early 20s. They were here. And again, Pakistan is made up of a migration of many people from all different areas in the Indo subcontinent. As I said, I had grandparents from India, Afghanistan, Turkey, and Kashmir as well. So I'm kind of like all the map of Pakistan in me. So the whole point is my parents were, especially my father, I would attribute to he was very entrepreneurial, looking for opportunities to grow. And he took the opportunity and was traveling all over the world. Actually, he went to Germany, he went to Iran, he went to, Iraq. He traveled a lot by car. So in his, that led him to Kuwait, which is where I was born. And then after my parents got married, they came and had an opportunity to move here. I would say that my mom has been a great homemaker and really, stable, but she's also done a lot of entrepreneurial things, been very creative. They showed me that, you have to just keep on thinking of ideas to keep on going. And that really gave me a lot of confidence. and as I said, put discipline, focus, determination, and utilizing the systems here in Canada to help them to achieve. And I think I continue with that because there's always an opportunity to grow and learn through education, through awareness, through connecting with others. And every problem can be solved. We have to develop greater awareness in everything, and also continue learning at every age. I think what's really important is that we don't get stuck in a situation where we don't learn, because we can learn always, and that was instilled with me from childhood. So I was really happy with that. And again, I would say that my mom brought about an extremely loving, patient, that really gave me a lot of confidence in me, self-love. And my father's been very courageous and determined, and I feel that that's in me too, because of a lot of roles that I've had to do and be curious to do things, etc. But I'm able to do it with confidence and courage, which is so important, to do something different and overcome your fears. So all of those things really helped me to understand, and also have the curiosity to do something different, but have the support of family around you. So that's really like a good grounding. So family is really important. And I have my 3 daughters I'm raising as well. So it's really nice to have my family, my parents around with them, because I have the confidence of my upbringing, but kind of adding a few things of my own that I see that they need to deal with the new technology and everything that's happening in the world right now. So as a parent, I think it's important to continue to develop your own self-awareness, because there's a lot of changes going on. And so I'm just instilling those things and adding to the wonderful knowledge that I received, and just enhancing things as we're changing. So yeah, it's that's, I would say, is the main thing. And again, it's always about facing new things and utilizing your childhood, and again, growing from that. Like maybe something happened, you have to do something different, and then you can do it with the confidence of your childhood. So there's a lot of, as I said, going to different cultural events, and being able to be part of other groups, and that really helps to understand what you have to do, and give you that passion to keep going, because you want to be able to maintain your reinforce your values in whatever you're doing, and no matter, even if you're going all over the world. So yeah, this is the main thing that my background and my childhood gave me. So yeah.
How lovely to hear that, Samira. I mean, family loves is priceless. And I'm so happy to hear that you and your daughters also they have their grandparents around them, right? I mean, that love is priceless. With societies moving to more nuclear family setup and stuff like that, children enjoying grandparents' love, protection, care is amazing. Lovely to
Yes,
know that.
it's really been amazing, especially with COVID and stuff. I mean, I think I'd be more worried if I wasn't allowed, because they were putting restrictions, and you couldn't see your parents. And I was like thinking, wow, I'm glad that I'm around, because there's a few things that I'm helping them with, prevention and wellness strategies, and they don't even sometimes know. But I say, like, but I keep telling them, because we really have to keep growing in our self-awareness each time. There's so many things changing, so we need to be aware of how we can help each other. And our loved ones are our whys, our biggest whys. So keep those close, and have the courage to deal with all things as they are. So yeah.
Yeah. And I also noticed while you were speaking, you had a lot of focus on learning, right? Learning,
Yes.
being self-aware,
Yes.
improving yourself. So tell us a little about, the best days of our life, or the school days, right? Your
Yes.
schooling, education, higher studies, something around that. How did you?
Well, as I said, there's the education system here in Canada was, really great, in the sense that at that time, now things have changed to online, there's different things, but the system that I came through, I really excelled in that, because I was really disciplined, and I just followed instructions, and, did all that stuff, got to higher levels. We have that a lot. I mean, we have our backgrounds. My mom was very much a contributor for that. My mom was really good with scheduling with us, understanding, and you don't really understand these things and appreciate until much later. But the main thing was, it gave you the confidence to really focus. But my mom was really behind me a lot. That was really a big thing for me. As I said, I went to university, I did my bachelor's of science, and then I specialized in rehabilitation counseling, and then more specifically in vision in that area of disability. Um, Mainly, the main thing is I've always somehow created my opportunities. I was working in some University of Toronto at Adaptive Technology Resource Center. Then it was, some things changed with government funding, but I worked with visually impaired and, low vision clients, people who needed to use their vision to be able to go back to, work, etc., or school. And so it was really rewarding. But what I found was, and I used adaptive technology. I was also trained as an adaptive technologist. It was a very unique career because I kind of saw I created a niche for myself, but I also noticed that, why are these things happening to people? So my career path was kind of like, I wanted to go into healthcare, and then I decided to go into this, and I just found myself that it was a great opportunity for me to work alongside my spouse at the time, to be able to develop uh, you know the opportunity for people to continue. So it was a good fit. But then as I became a mom, I wasn't always working as much. I actually would just be working part-time because there was a lot of responsibility. But it gave me the understanding that the importance of looking at prevention and wellness, because in my 20s I was working with a lot of people my age now, and I'm seeing the importance of being more self-aware with your health and what you can do ahead of time, rather than having a lot of issues, etc., to be able to lead to health issues later, because it's really about being more self-aware. So yes, that was the main thing. And now I'm continuing on, just trying to get more education to help me in creating my own health coaching. I've also had, as I said, I went into owning some clinics as well here, to know some business development. I owned a medical spa as well for about a year. That was a great experience in, incorporating inner health, outer beauty, and knowing about business and what happens. So it gave me a lot of confidence. But again, there's a lot of ups and downs. You have to keep on, understanding and seeing. And then that led me to some roles as well, with some, executive positions and some finance roles. And it helped me again to really go to like grassroots, because if you understand, you can make the connections. And so that's why I'm now focusing on becoming a health coach, because it's all interconnected. And integrative health coaching is what I'm now planning to do. So I guess learning has always been something that I've done, because another thing, my mom, growing up, she was always very creative. She'd do like flower design, or make some what is it called, arrangements in the home, doing things. She loved cooking. I used to help her. I remember making like, jam cookies and baking. I used to do all these things because my mom, and, sewing and knitting and all these kind of things. But that creativity was really allowing me to develop something that I could do on my own too. So it's kind of like I was able to, utilize my creative talent with, systems and creating systems and stuff. And so using my own leadership kind of allowed me to problem solve a lot of things in my work roles too. So yeah, so that was, how I'm going by it. And then again, just solidifying more of my education, just to kind of give more confidence to others to work with me, which would be great. But again, it's more about having the intention to really heal others, really help them. That's really what I'd like to do. That's my true calling, and help them, empower them to, overcome their fears of particular areas, and go from there. Because I think that true healing or empowerment is understanding or giving guidance to others to take charge of their own health, because we have that opportunity, but it's our ability to use our mind, develop our skill sets, and then take action. And sometimes all of these things are connected to how we are too. So we have to really overcome our own fears to vibrate at a higher level. So yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, Samera. I think some of the key highlights that I really want to highlight, I'm sure Shikha can add to it, is that one of the very important aspects which you mentioned, and I absolutely loved, Samera, was how you actually translated the creativity from that you received from your mother to actually, translating opportunities and business opportunities and becoming an entrepreneur. That's one of the wonderful aspects and very important, isn't it? And second, I think what you consistently kept talking about, self-awareness. I
Yes.
think
I,
I think
again, I think it's more, while you're doing things, a lot of times people are so busy on that
true,
system, like you just keep on
true.
going. I think where I really understood this the most was having my three daughters. I was really fast paced before, my first daughter, and then I had to really slow down. And I realized, okay, I have to go according to her. But, a child helps you understand so many things about who you are because you go down to the basic. And then that helped me to realize, and I scheduled my life accordingly. And that helped me to, prepare myself and then have my schedule accordingly. And then I incorporated some of my work part-time because a lot of responsibilities with mom. But again, I wanted to be there, and I know that I was used to a dedicated mom from myself. So I'm like, you know what, I've just got to be more aware. But I was able to do more things than my mom, and then again,
Mm,
having more confidence to move forward. So yeah. So it
wonderful. I
starts with
think it's,
prevention and wellness because as a
yeah.
woman, we always are doing so many things with the family, and we don't have a chance to really think about ourselves. But I try to do things where I take a break or whatever. And again, it's great to have family around because then you can then continue with, if you needed some help, etc., because then that allows you to keep going in what you need to do, because it's really important to take care of yourself as well and take a break when
True.
you need.
I think self-awareness is such an important aspect through all the dimensions of life, which really gives
Yes.
us more energy to do more and give more. And also what you mentioned about you created opportunities, right? I think rather than
Yes.
just waiting for the life or rather, the world around to show you way. I think how wonderfully you have carved a way, your way into the healthcare sector and really helping people to heal. I think that one line which you mentioned was so punchful and powerful, helping people to heal, especially now during the COVID times. I think that has
Yes.
become so crucial and important. And I think through your work, you've been doing such amazing, amazing work, Samira. Shikha, would you like to add anything?
I just got reminded of one statement, right?
Yeah,
She mentioned that you have to take care of yourself, you have to look after yourself. Even when you travel, in a flight, and the flight is going through a turbulent zone, right? What does the captain announce? Put your oxygen mask first, and then you help the co passenger, right? So if
true.
you're able to take care of yourself, and if you're feeling fit and fine and healthy and positive and good, that's what you give to the others, right? So beautifully said.
Wonderful. Yeah, yeah. Wonderfully said,
When
Shikha.
I think the main thing is, adopting a prevention wellness mindset as opposed to the
Mm,
sickness mindset in a fast-paced
mm,
society, because we just are just go, 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 and we don't have a chance. And, if there's opportunities to invest in your health, that's
yeah.
where you need to kind of consider, because really everyone has unique health. No one's health is the same. No one has the same background. No one has this understanding. No one knows you have your own genetic DNA. You have to deal with every single thing accordingly. And different circumstances of life is always ups and downs. You have to be able to understand how you're going to manage yourself and do it with a positive attitude and really stay present on that. And it's you have to develop yourself from your own fears and how you can say be confident in that, because it's all about your 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 inner health as well. That really helps to define who you are. But if we don't understand, like for instance, um our eating habits, or we're not taking attention, it's hard, it's not easy. Like, I'm on this live, but I didn't sleep that well, I'll be honest. But I did have a little bit of sleep. I was like, you know what, it'll happen. But I would just wanted to prepare a little bit. But the main thing is just being aware that, okay, you know what, every day you have a chance to wake up and start again. You don't have to feel bad if there's something. So it's just a constant reminder to be able to, be in that zone and take action to be able to take care of yourself, because you have that power. I think that's important for people to understand that, there's COVID, there's different things, there's always going to be different scenarios, but what are you doing to help protect yourself now so that you don't end up with any problems? Because a lot of times it's about issues that come up that we're unaware of, and our our immune system, for instance. We should invest in that in terms of learning how to do that as well, which can be really helpful. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, Samira. I think what you beautifully mentioned was we are born every day, right? I think, and
Yes.
the opportunity to really give back and do something for ourselves and for others is such a great opportunity we have received. Moving on, Samira, I think talking about if you can throw some light about your career. So you began as
Mhm.
vision rehabilitation and consultant, and so what were your roles and responsibilities, or what were your what was the kind of work that you did? And then from there you carved your
Mhm.
journey towards health coach, and you're now moving on to becoming a health coach. So if you could throw some light about what was your work, and what exactly, tell our audiences about more about what is vision rehabilitation, and also more about a little bit about your current work in terms of your vision, and what you envision to do as a health coach, and take it from there.
Okay. Well, the main thing is, I was mentioning before, as a vision rehabilitation consultant that I was a rehab professional. So my main goal was to try to help people who, through injury, disease, acquired a vision loss. Vision is something we need all the time. It's very interesting because, that's one of the senses that we have that is so, so important. But a lot of times we are, putting so much emphasis on that for so many things, and then something can happen. It could be, and then if that loss happens, a lot of times, people are not acknowledging it. It's very scary. You have to overcome a lot. So I was able to see people, at a very different level and help them to first get the confidence of where they are exactly, and then help them move them to, use their functional vision to achieve something of the, like, for instance, I remember some people I came across, they wanted to see their grandkids, they wanted to use their vision and, be able to do that. So through the use of adaptive technology, low vision, high vision aids, there's a lot of things that I've come across. You're able to do that. And there's so much more technology. Now you have Apple, the technology's there, magnification, all these things. But I used to be able to, train people on keyboards, large print keyboards, other things. There's so much technology. So it was very rewarding. As I said, another thing was using different, um, magnifiers. A lot of the times, just being able to give that, what's it called? The confidence for someone to be able to, be independent is so powerful. And I think it's a similar where, as a woman too, you feel that there's something you can do. And as I said, it's more self-awareness. So small things that are, neglected during life because maybe you didn't see that or it wasn't part of your life or anything, then they can accumulate and cause a problem later. So it gave me a very good sense that, hey, what, I need to look at all the details to be able to design what I need to do. And it led me to realize, okay, what is sometimes the gaps? Because a lot of times I used to do a lot of counseling and just help people to understand. So that made me realize that there's some gaps in the way that that people are not able to understand themselves, have self-awareness, because no one really talks about that. I always take a lot of time, getting intake. And I used to work at such a pace that I could take more time with my clients. So I kind of designed that way, 1 hour, like, consultations, understanding, really getting to know, doing other testing, etc. But at the same time, I took that time to give them the confidence and trust. So it's really important to see, understand, your emotional health, your mental health. But I think there's a lot of connections because we don't talk about these things. I think that it's really important to understand that for ourselves. And a lot of times, people are they're very upset. They're depressed with, like, what can we do? But they're not getting out of that. But it's really about addressing the underlying problems behind it. So, you're in a confidence space. There's patient confidentiality, etc. But you learn a lot about people. You give them the trust, the care, and then they're able to motivate themselves. It led me to realize, okay, you know what, I've always been entrepreneurial, as you've seen, like, because at the same time it's great to do, you obviously have to do a job, but at the same time you have to have a lot of creative skill to do problem solving. So that's also something that, I developed in terms of, understanding barriers to what they needed to do in their work, and then trying to find out a plan, and then also figuring that out, and then just using that transferable skill in other industries, like as I said, in business, in some finance roles that I've been involved in on some teams and stuff. But the main thing is it's all connected because it's all different people, interacting together, and sometimes they need to have things addressed. So it's more like realizing the importance of this, and just to kind of do that for yourself, because a lot of people, they're not in touch with that. They kind of just block things, so it's really important. You got to understand for yourself what you can do and invest in your health. See what kind of ways you can heal yourself ahead of times. What are things bothering you? How can you get support? And which resources can you go to? I think that this led me to um, looking at this thing of integrative health coach, and being part of also the World Organization of Natural Medicine, and being able to work with clients globally, because I want to be able to take the time to be able to support people. And another area that I think is really important, which we don't talk about, is financial health. That's really important too. So I think I'm just incorporating all my experience into something where I can have a discussion, see what exactly it is, because people need to understand their lifestyle. And four areas that are really important is nutrition, your sleep, your lifestyle habits, that includes exercise, even like your, how you're taking care of yourself, how you're looking, what you're doing. All these small things also are important for women too, getting dressed up nicely, doing your hair, doing things, but more focused on your internal health, and then it just helps to enhance everything. So it's really about those things. And also mindset. Mindset is really important too. We as women really need to understand that we have a value. There's a lot of pressures on us, different things. I mean, that's another other topic that we'll talk about as well. But practicing ways to stay present, mindfulness, meditation, it is take work. I mean, as I said, the mind, we've been trained, so a lot of things that we have to look up as, what do we go through? What kind of things happen? And we have to uh, work our way through our own fears to be able to move to the next direction. And that way we can move forward. Like, for instance, having the opportunity to even talk about women empowerment, be empowered in the home. This way we can teach all of our children, boys and girls, and that's really what's necessary, because we need to show up more compassionately, with compassion and empathy and understanding for ourselves first, and then we can create that solution that we need for others and instill that in others as well.
Wonderful.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful, Samira. I think that was so powerful what you mentioned, especially about, the last point that you mentioned about the four important aspects to our health, which is the nutrition, sleep, our internal health, especially for
Yes,
women, like you rightly mentioned, right? Dressing up and hair and everything is nice. But when we take care of our internal health, that naturally reflects in our externally.
exactly.
And fourth, which is a mindset, I think, especially again, like you rightly mentioned, especially for women, I think there are so many aspects that we deal and juggle with, and there are so many challenges we face as we come across. So the mindset is one of the key aspects to our journey, I think.
I think, yes, again, the main thing is acknowledging your emotional
Yeah.
health and our mental health too, because we sometimes, there's a lot of things connected to our, how we're seeing our health, like in sense of, if we're not eating, we're ignoring those things accumulate, your, for instance, our gut health. There's a lot of research now with, the neurotransmitters in our gut to our brain. We need to be able to understand how these things affect us. Of course, you do your best, everyone has different circumstances, but there can be other powerful ways to, again, there's a lot of great, you could say, foods we have. Aloe vera, I think that's something that you can help to protect your gut lining, etc. But you need to investigate different aspects that are unique to you, but being aware and finding healthier ways to deal with your emotions, like being able to journal it out, or talk to someone that you're trusting, or being able to express your emotions is important, because you hold those in, and then those affect you internally. And that's really important. But yeah, it's good to invest in, like, maybe some groups, or as I said, some places. Even doing, as I said, yoga is good too, like practices that will help you. I mean, as I said, there's every day you are, and you're always having to juggle around different things. Your life can be different, but if you can incorporate some things that can help you, it'll really help you a lot on the practical level, and staying present. Because I think what happens is our mind goes to, like, past, future, what's going to happen. But what you put yourself in is anxiety or depression. And so you're dealing with these two things all the time, and not really focusing on what's happening now. And sometimes there's a lot of fears, because you're also dealing with the reactions of other people, and you have to internalize that, and make sense of it. Like, it affects your own self-worth, but who are you? You have to have confidence within. As I said, again, it depends on um, you know, remembering. And as I said, I'm very fortunate that I had a loving home. I have a loving home, as I said, but different things happen. You have to realize that, how things are, and develop that confidence from within, and keep that in mind for yourself. So again, empathy, understanding, compassion for yourself, and then that will help you with others. And sometimes we don't do that, but it's hard. But you just have to, forgive and keep moving on, because a lot of this knowledge is not there, and it's ignored. Like, again, being dealing with different people, different communities, people all over the world, I'm noticing this, and these types of things can really help. And in the home, what, as mothers, we are demonstrating habits and different patterns to our children, both boys and girls, equally. So it's really up to us to kind of instill those things, so that we can develop more strong mindsets in our children, so that they can help us in the future. Like, as I said, being more self-aware of what kind of ways can you help your children, in terms of they're constant online. There's different things. You're noticing a lot of mental health imbalance in children as well. It's normal, because they're just like, okay, lockdown, but there's different things being triggered. So you have to kind of be aware, show the understanding, compassion, but other things that you could investigate for your family, for yourself and your family, which is really good. So that's why being a health coach is really rewarding, because I find that I am supporting the empowerment of others, by just guidance, and sometimes that's most important.
Yeah. I was about to ask you, what does an integrative health coach do? I think you've almost covered all the aspects of it. Yeah. I think if I understand it correctly, Samira, it's a perfect harmony of between the inner self and the outer self, right? That is what.
Well, yes, I think the main thing is what I really like. As I said, the healthcare system, in a lot of places around the world, and I've been exposed to lots of healthcare systems around the world. But what I've noticed is, from, like, my understanding is, I attribute, my mom is a great cook, and I think that, sometimes, growing up, you don't always appreciate, oh yeah, you always have this, you want to eat something else, because we had access to so many things, and we were conditioned to kind of, you know, have fast food or something. I shouldn't say condition, but you had that option. It was like an option. But we also used to eat at home. But those things really helped protect me, and we have a lot of great food. But again, there could be some variations in that, like in preparation, more understanding about, how our own cultures can be really helpful to us in terms of what we're eating, what we're doing, keeping a balance. So those things really help you. And again, the main thing about integrative health is understanding the different health paradigms. Like, we just look at focus on just physical health, like, okay, we keep on going, 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 and then something's going to happen to you, and then you're going to the doctor, and then there's emergency, there's something. We just don't spend time and realize, daily, what is going on? How can we incorporate practices that can help us to balance ourselves? Like, as I said, our spiritual health, gratitude, mindfulness, meditation, doing these types of practices, staying present, all of these things are important. Of course, it's challenging sometimes. You're dealing with family. You're, as a mom and as a woman in the household, you have to do so many things. But at the same time, if we can understand that for ourselves, and we'll be able to better deal with so many challenges around us. And you have to take the challenges as an opportunity to stabilize and reinforce our values. And so you can do those things. It's not easy, but you have that understanding with being able to invest in your health alongside with whatever you have to do, because it becomes challenging in whatever circumstance. Like, I know one thing I need to improve upon. I was, being like, we have our gym here, but I'm trying to do things at home, trying to instill that with my girls too. But there's so many different changes going on. So you adjust, but you just kind of like the weather here now, we have to stay more indoors because I'm working online, but it's still being able to get fresh air, step outside, being aware of all those things, or just taking breaks, being online now. It just takes a little bit of more planning of your time and your day, etc. Because you know what, your time and energy, like, is what is used every day. So you need to be more aware how to balance yourself and what things are out there to help you. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's
Very
that's
true.
really wonderful, Samira. I think what you mentioned about the nutrition and what we eat, and also the very important fact that you really brought forward and threw light on is all our health paradigms are very different. Everybody has
Yes.
different health, and it's not
Yes.
just about the physical, mental, physical health. That right, physically you can see when something goes wrong, you can actually see it. But then the
Yes.
other aspect of our health, which is the mental health, which you've been really emphasizing on
Yep.
is so important.
I think, again, there's a lot of taboo, like as I said, we
Yes.
have to recognize first, acknowledge it. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's something that happens, like people go through these things, but we have to understand what we're doing as mothers too, to help ourselves. We need to, be aware that even small things can affect our children. We have to be more, have the ability to even recognize that so that we can catch things before. Like, as I said, I noticed I have my three daughters now, they're teenagers, but the main thing is, I have my 19, 15, and 12. But again, they're all changing, they're doing things. But as for young ladies, they're dealing with their hormonal changes, different things. But being able to talk to them, understand them, ask them the questions that are about something bothering you. Is there anything going on? How can I help you? And giving them that freedom, because sometimes I think we're so conditioned to just kind of make them a certain way, or we're taking their lead, but we also have to guide them a little bit. Like, it's so important to let them know that if they're going a different direction, just give them the chance to be themselves. It's really important, rather than having certain expectations put on them. I think that's really, really important, because there's so many directions, going on. I mean, living in a global mosaic here, I'm learning about things. I mean, I need them to guide me too. So it's like, I'm learning a few things and realizing, but again, once you're open with that, your children will, listen to you and talk to you. And I learned that a lot from my mom. She's always been my friend. We're always talking. But I guess the challenge I sometimes face in the healthcare is that, my mom and dad, I love them, but they're so conditioned from, like, the current medical system with everything. And so I try to explain them, but they do it with some resistance. But those small things of them being self-aware can really help them, because sometimes what happens is there's no understanding of that from before. And again, historically, you need to know your families, what's happened, and be real, about what's happened to you, and then having that insight rather than just hiding things. I know it's challenging, but you need to make peace with whatever's happened to you so that you can move forward. And changing the neural plasticity of your brain, like practice, again, emotional freedom techniques. There's other things that you can do, tapping. There's so many things that helps to balance the energy and balance within as well. How to deal with maybe anxiety attack or something like this. There's so many things you can do by understanding what it is that's bothering you, and then again addressing sometimes subconscious fears. We don't even know them, so we have to do our own investigation and work with someone to help you, guide you. Maybe they'll help you further, a specialist, but there's all different aspects. So this has been my journey throughout my career, learning, understanding, seeing things. And so yeah, I just want to help empower people more, because that gives you more, giving back and really doing things like this really gives you a more peace. I think that's empowerment too, by living at your best potential, by being able to learn and then help others to build themselves up too. And if you have your health, you have your wealth. I've worked with so many people, even my role in vision rehab, where they lost their vision, they did so much stuff, they're willing to pay me so much money, and I'm like, what did you do your whole life? So it's like they have to acknowledge that, okay, you know what, they did this, be kind to yourself, that's fine. But at the same time, if they were aware of a few things and invested, you are able to maintain, because really it's really hard, some challenges, but you need to kind of keep that in mind. So that's why I think that I really want to support people, because a lot of things are coming up right now with, even as I said, past traumas, intergenerational traumas. People don't know, people don't talk about stuff. And then you have to deal with that currently, because these are requiring us to introspect. And that's scary, because it's a fear. Maybe you didn't deal with it, so it just triggers. So we need to move forward from this so that we can empower our legacies forward. Otherwise, this technological world is going to be so fast paced, and there's no time to really think back and connect back to nature, and being able to have that balance. I would like to, it's exciting with a lot of things, but at the same time, prevention and wellness is the key. But it starts from understanding our whole being, our internal and external balance. And also, as I said, beauty, wellness, all these things are maintained by the more stuff you know of how to preserve this. So yeah.
Yeah, very well said. And Samira, you know what? As far as India as a geography is concerned, I think pre-pandemic people did not talk about mental health, well-being,
Yes.
depression, counseling, right? It was
Mhm.
such a taboo. We just didn't talk about it. Oh, somebody's suffering, let her be, or let him
Yeah.
be. Let's not mingle, let's not socialize, let's not interact. COVID that way, has been such a blessing, right? Now people are
Yes.
talking about it, people are reaching out for help, organizations are,
Mhm.
bringing counselors on board,
Mhm.
psychologists on board. I think COVID that way has been a blessing, because so many people, Samira, have gone through so much. Yeah, we've lost our loved ones, people have lost
Yes.
jobs, people have lost, I don't know, lost a lot.
There's the thing is that you go through different journeys, but the traumas and different things that you go through, you have to focus on the positives, every single situation. But again, it's very difficult to have loss. You have to make peace with that. But you are appreciative, having faith, and again, I should say, all the faiths of the world, you can learn something positive, because it's really something internal for you. If you are operating on that level of peace, joy, and love within, which is the only thing that matters, and you have a true intention to be like that, you'll find your way. But it is challenging, because people are going through different traumas, things are being triggered. And this is the thing where people need to talk about these things in families, so that they can do the right prevention and wellness strategies ahead of time, and support the connection of the family, etc. Because if we don't talk about these things, it's there. Like for instance, people can have loss of parents when they're small, and things are coming up, or something happened to them, and so therefore you're seeing a lot of things, because people have to face their fears. And the fear, everyone's like worried, but again, immune system, how to keep that up, etc. But a lot of people have to do that. It's very scary to deal with this. But if you have some training, and again, historically, there's been a lot of things happening. So there's a repeat of, I guess, people feeling in those positions before, and so it's kind of like, okay, they have to deal with all this. So for me, as I said, it's I think my my loving childhood and kind of dealing with things really supported me. But at the same time, there's a few things I've had to grow from too, in terms of doing some things, learning, transitioning from different careers, kind of, facing my fears. But I just kind of saw what is it that I had in my family and just utilize those skill sets and add to those, because, it's curiosity that will help you, and you have to self-motivate. But also if you have your health, then you're able to do that. But yes, you're very right in the sense that if something happens, we don't want to support, we don't understand, we just kind of, shun them out in society. But I think as women, we need to be more empowered ourselves. We can help empower others, and, stop those cultural types of taboos and different things that people are doing. Like, again, fears create a lot of problems with, unfortunately, negative traits as well. We need to be more real within, and that can sometimes be scary for some people. But if we do practice that, we can do a lot, because, as I said, the mothers are the strength of community. And if we're stronger, we can do much more in the world, right? We can do a lot, even right now online. We're doing so much by being powerful here. But a lot of people in their home, if they're able to do this stuff, they can do a lot of things.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very. Shikha, go on.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Right. So I think wonderfully said, Samira. I think it's so inspiring when you were talking. I was just reflecting back, especially on the motherhood aspect as well, that you were talking with the three daughters, that you have the freedom to be themselves. I have two young boys, and I was so inspired to hear your thoughts on that, Samira. It kind of really put me as well in on such a wonderful learning journey as I was conversation with you, as to how we need to give them their space, rather than just putting our things forward, saying this is how it is, this is how you have to be. And I think dealing with that entire, because I think that internally as well, what you rightly mentioned, Samira, as mothers, puts a lot of pressure on us ourselves, isn't it? Isn't it, Shikha?
Yeah,
Absolutely. You can only give what you have, like she rightly
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Well, this is the main thing, because, like, as I said, when we are faced with any challenges or anything, we're gonna be able, like, of course, we're the most vulnerable with our own families. They know us, but we
Yeah.
have to have the
Yeah.
confidence to be able
Correct.
to know that, what we can do. And so we're learning, but we're also an example for them. So, whatever we've seen, we're repeating those things again. So we need to kind of, recognize, okay, what is it that we're doing? What's happening? Stay present, because our thoughts are creating our reality, and a lot of times it's up to us to kind of, deal. But there again, you have to face a lot of things, find the information, be able and be open to, connect with the right people, but have the trust within, to be able to be guided and see, okay, what can I do? How can I handle this? And keep going. But again, the main thing is, being able to be recognized, recognize that within you have to be real within. It's scary. Everyone has it. I mean, I've worked with both men and women, but everyone has fears, every human being, but you have to be able to overcome those with your confidence and just calmness. So yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, Samira. So I remember, Shikha, mentioning in your introduction that you have been working with a few of the NGOs and social initiatives, especially which are related to women communities. If you could share some thoughts about what initiatives or NGOs you're associated with, and what is the impact that your work or those initiatives have had, especially on the women community. Now, as we all know, women power global movement is towards empowering women and bringing forward topics and discussions which will help women feel more empowered, more confident, more courageous. So if you could throw some light on those aspects of your work, Samira, would be really wonderful. And again, it's so inspiring for all of us to see that you're a health coach, vision rehabilitation, and you're also associated with quite a few NGOs, and that's very inspiring for all of us to know, Samira. So if you could let us know about that.
Well, as I said, it's really wonderful to live in Canada, to be able to be exposed to many people. As I said, for me, my journey's been dealing with many women, understanding where you can learn, what you can do, and how some of your skill sets can be beneficial to others as well. And my involvement has been, one of the things, as I said, some organizations to support you with like financial health, like investing, understanding, learning about these things, how you can do things on your own, like while you're in your house. Maybe there's some things, rather than just focusing on retail jewelry, this, that, that's fine, we all love that, but we really need to kind of think about what else can we do to help develop some things for ourselves, have a confidence, something, a project of your own even, these other women who are like-minded like this, we need to consider that as well. So for me, I'm just like, I've been involved in a lot of different areas, but more importantly, how these things impact is just giving back. The feeling of giving back and supporting others is important, because I think moving forward, I know that I've dealt with all different levels of economic status, people, etc., seeing, and you really want to work out. I mean, I've done so much charity with, like, just giving. I mean, people just, vision aids or different things I've done in my life, etc., just to be able to keep them going. It's just giving them hope and being able to help them and see. And so for me, I just feel inspired to understand, I think it really boils down to understanding our health, really, to be quite honest, because when we're of strong mind, we can then look at things and say, okay, you know what, where can I go? What can I do? And go forward. And a lot of the social initiatives, have been like, as for instance, another thing I didn't mention, but I've been part of some organizations where, providing vision aids. But the more thing is, for women to understand that, let's say if you have a child who had, like, a health issue, etc., or vision was lost, and then sometimes you just kind of shun them away. You kind of don't think about, okay, I can't support them, I can't do anything, but they're capable. But it's more about, keep on learning. There could be stuff online now, there's so much information. So having a curious way of, understanding yourself, having confidence, and then giving back in your way too. You don't have to do all these things, you could be so busy, but just supporting the person, like they need some support, etc. That attitude is so important, because we need to build stronger communities within our women, build them together, and maybe being able to recognize people, because people need that understanding, self-worth and understanding. It comes from you, of course, sometimes, because we're a lot of times dealing with the reactions of others. And so I think that having this confidence is with knowing what other people are doing, etc., can really help you. And so this is why I do it, because I would like to um, empower mothers. I think that they're very pivotal as women, our legacies, because if we don't have that understanding, we need to model those things so that we can continue those value systems in our legacies forward.
How lovely. I mean, so we know Samera, the mother, Samera, the professional, Samera, the social worker, Samera, the coach. Ladies and gentlemen, are you excited to know who is Samera behind the scenes? What is Samera like? Dreams, passion, aspiration. What's Samera like for us?
Well, I think I've come to realize that I'm definitely a strong, passionate, we could say determined person, courageous. I think that's a lot of qualities around me. But to be quite honest, all of these things are, I'm attributing it to my parents. I give a lot of credit to them. Uh, that's the only thing I know from the beginning. I give a lot of thanks, but with their blessings, I think that the opportunities actually to work with everyone. I mean, I know that working in healthcare, you receive so much thanks for people to see and to do things. And when you do anything with your passion and you're full into something, you really can make a difference, and that gives you so much peace inside. So just continuing with that. For me, I love, as I said, fun activities, different things. I mean, obviously with COVID, we can't really do too much stuff. It's still okay. I mean, we're trying to get back to normal here, but yeah, just living full, kind of understanding all of these things, but more importantly, just enjoying time, being able to travel, hopefully more with my daughters, being able to experience things, and just being busy with things that I used to do. I know there's a lot of event planning and different things that I've done in the past, but kind of wondering, okay, how are we going to do things? But again, I realized transition to online. So you can keep yourself busy, do things in the way of adjusting yourself, not feeling that, oh, I can't do this. We can do a lot. We just have to see what other creative ways we can use the technology to help us rather than feel that we're not moving forward, and those are fears too. A lot of people are having to, oh, what are we going to do? Well, that's why you need to work with other people, maybe younger people. Give opportunities also, I think, is important, is that if people have fears, there's too much control. We have to give back by allowing and encouraging, creating opportunities for younger people to be able to use their talents and be practical in what we're doing. I think that's important too. I like engaging younger people, creating opportunities, etc., guidance, but utilizing them to help me so that I can learn better to be up to date with things, so because I can't learn everything, but I do think that it's also preserving of your health too. So it's kind of like working together and moving forward. So yeah, there's a lot of things. As I said, it's more just about being um, being humble inside, understanding yourself, keep growing, learning, and just working with like-minded people. That's really me, I guess. I'm really, as I said, humbled. I wasn't thinking, what have I done? But when you actually have this kind of opportunity, you really realize that everyone can contribute to the movement of women empowerment by just being you and just making sure that you're operating at the highest level. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why Pragya and I are talking to you for the kind of difference you've been making with your work, with the surroundings, people around you at work, and so on and so forth. Right. And I think that's what Pragya is going to ask you next, right? What does women empowerment? How do you want to contribute?
I know. Absolutely. You're right, Shika. And I think from our entire conversation, Samira, there is one quote which is really comes on the top of my mind when I listen to your work, your contribution, and how passionately you are. We can literally see the fire in you, in how you want to really help people, heal them, and
Yes.
make them much enabled and empowered with their health. There is one quote which comes on top of their mind. It says that happiness does not result from what you get, it results from what you give.
That's right.
So
I think women empowerment.
Samira, before you answer that, I would like to add one more thing. For you, something that holds so true is a woman is a full circle within. That's you.
That's right. Exactly. This, you know what? It's very true, because we are creating the circle of life and preserving it. If we're not allow that a platform, then how are we supposed to continue? So I really appreciate this platform for having this discussion, because everything stems from this. I'm doing a lot of things for my parents and my three daughters, and I'm concerned about, I shouldn't say concerned, but thinking about all the things to help them with my legacy and my grandkids, because there's so many things happening right now that if we don't address them, they're going to lead to other issues when systems are so fast. People don't have time, because younger people are going to have to face a lot more things at an earlier time than us, because life's getting so much more fast paced. So we have to have a balance. And so if we can emulate that in our upbringing with our children, having an understanding ourselves, being brave enough to do this, it'll be good. And also investing in not just the typical stuff, being brave enough to do something else, and taking some small steps, focusing on what you need to do, researching, seeing where you can get more ideas from to do something different to help you face a challenge. Like, I think thing is, we're so used to just living in a comfortable life. And sometimes you end up in something, but you have to humble yourself to be able to face a challenge and then focus yourself to grow. And that will really excel you, and then you can help others.
Wonderful, Samira. Wonderful, really great, very insightful thoughts. And I think some really very brilliant and powerful ideas you have put forward in terms of, entire holistic health, whether it is physical, mental, especially related to women. Coming to the very, very Yeah, Shikha, go on.
Sorry, I'm sure DK Bakshi sir will be excited and waiting to know, right, how Samera is going to contribute to this movement.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and it's so amazing. Like I keep mentioning, right, Shikha, it's we are all so blessed that DKG has formed this massive and powerful movement, which is a woman power, where we are able to actually bring forward and talk about issues and problems and challenges and solutions. Very importantly, coming to our next question, Samera, right? I think something which is so close to all of our hearts, and which is why we are all here today, is what does women empower, or rather, what does empowerment mean to you? Right, and how do you think that women can be empowered in their own spaces? You have thrown some really amazing light on how women have to be present. You know, we juggle with so many things: motherhood, professional lives. There are so many other aspects that we juggle and hustle with. How can actually women, create, or have their own spaces and feel empowered in that? And what does empowerment mean to you?
Yeah, well, as I said, I think that empowerment really is having the opportunity to um, take on being able to to grow. First off, you need to be able to grow yourself. You have to have motivation. A lot of times, we're kind of I think one thing I wanted to mention as well is that we were raised to kind of be a little bit codependent. I think the interdependency within ourselves is necessary, because that puts a lot of imbalance in, again, um, the whole family structures and stuff. But if we're aware of things ahead of time, we can problem solve better. So that's really important. I think also, um, being able to just be peaceful within. I think if you're operating, living to your highest potential, and being able to operate at a feeling of peace, joy, and love. Empowerment is really gaining self-awareness and being curious and coming out of your comfort zone, getting support when needed. When you're able to have your resources, etc. Just don't not do anything. Contribute. Give out the energy like you're thinking, especially to be able to resonate the same. And, just not have judgments or assumptions or statements or different things about things that happen. Because, there's a lot, again, I'm just going to say, the patriarchal mindset and different things and not being addressed and stuff has really caused a lot of imbalances. So we really need to focus on things, understand who we are. We'll understand that when we understand our health, when we're real about things, when we understand our families, etc. It could really give us a peace within us, because we find the answers and move forward. So I think, like, as I said, it's just an opportunity to challenge yourself to grow at each time. Empowerment is really being able to be interdependent in your family circle so that you can contribute to the wellness and I guess best potential of your family, so that these values can be established and reinforced. Because honestly, my family has, my personal experience, they've traveled from different countries, different places, but the value systems are strengthened by the women. Women play a big role because we're the creators of the human beings. So we have to know that full circle within. So the more we know, the better we can have stronger communities. And again, thanking to Mr. DK Bakshi for allowing a platform, because when women are empowered as they are, then we can do a lot, and we can support and bring more calm and peace and balance. So that's really appreciative, rather than having to deal with the side effects of of imbalances, and then having to deal with traumas and different things that can happen, which has happened in the past. And then we have to re-deal with those things, and it's or relive those things, or have to handle those. So you want to be aware of everything and be brave enough to and courageous to be able to experience reality and find solutions. So be real with yourself and courageous to face things and find the answers.
Absolutely. Like we said, no? A full circle, the ability to create, nurture, and transform. Wonderful, Samera. I don't want this show to end, but then unfortunately, this brings me to the last question of our show today. We didn't understand from you what empowerment means and stuff like that. How do you see yourself contributing to this movement? I'm sure DK Bakshi would love to
Well,
know.
I think my main thing is, it's interesting, like, because I started off with vision, but I think that vision is useless if insight is blind, So for me, I think my journey has been being able to give more insight to women to be able to handle things so that they're not blinded by different scenarios around them, so that they can continue to keep going, because it can be sometimes very challenging. But once you understand that and you take more charge of things, you'll be more conscious about your decisions and attract the right abundance to you, what you need, and things can work out for you. But having a confidence, it's challenging in some scenarios that you face, but you can keep moving. And as I said, understand that you can get inspired, just being inspired. I remember going to some conferences and different things where I was interested in some learning about financial education, and some lady was talking. She inspired me a lot. And then I'm like, okay, you know what, there's other people in the world who are doing things, I can do this too. So the main thing is always to keep your mind open when you are listening to other people, different stories, etc. Gain an admiration. Okay, you know what? There's something there, rather than feeling, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. This person's did this and that. No, everyone has their qualities. So we have to see all of us through a lens of, again, empathy, understanding, and compassion, and that's going to give us peace, and we're going to be able to move forward because there's better expectations that we're setting, and we only need to focus on us, and just deal with other like-minded people that can support us through this movement, so we can have stronger communities around the world.
Absolutely, all of us together can keep spreading the message across the world. Mr. DK Bakshi, please show up. We know you're behind the scenes listening to all that Samera has to say. We'd like you to come on screen, please. Oh, there he is.
Hi, good morning from Cannon.
Good evening from India.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I think fascinating and good evening in India, Shikha, the women power of South India, and good afternoon must be here in England, Pranya, the super women power of England.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Samira, and in fact, Anshul from West India, she is the super women power from Mumbai. She wants to join. Amresh, can you ask this Anshul Sharma? She can be on.
She's here.
Yes, sir.
DK
Yes.
sir, she's here.
Yeah. So first of all, I must thank Samira. What a powerful, what a meaningful discussions, and your focus was precisely on internal health leading to external health.
Yes.
And this is something very important, and it's not important only for women, it's important for men as well. We ignore ourselves, and that word which is very important, which came, compassion for yourself, which we don't normally do. We get back to back in our things in life. Look at Shikha, the way she is manding up every day. I don't know how many programs she do and how she manage her job as well. And compassion for yourself. And then another aspect which came up very beautifully is that mindfulness, motivation. I did motivation and meditation. I had 3M. Because mindfulness leads to, motivation, and motivation should lead people to go for meditation. When we go for meditation, a lot of de-stressing takes place. We are cleaning up our stuff, like we clean the brush in the morning of our teeth. And you also said if you have health, of course, you have the best wealth. I always talk about Steve Jobs, and look at Steve Jobs, his last comments. And your background has been fascinating, health coach, and Shikha was asking, how do you manage so many things? And being a mom of 3 children, not easy, it's tough. Motherhood itself is a full-time job. And Shikha said that women is a full circle. Yes, women is quality. Women is certainly full circle. And along with motherhood, when women contributes to the corporate world, as well as to the community, to the global world, is more fascinating. It makes them more quality, super quality. Having said that, and one more word which you talk about, who are you? Who am I? I keep on talking, who am I? And when we focus on who am I, we can take out the best of ourselves. And in fact, when I was listening to the thoughts, how important it is to have self-worth. Most of the women actually do not take their life, and they don't have confidence of self-worth. That's where the major issue is. And this hashtag Women Power at Global Movement is actually to give confidence to women. Now, today, most of women who have seen your story or will be watching your story later on, they will get motivated and inspired. How did you do it? Coming from a different country to a different, Western world, managing, doing so many things, and becoming successful. Success is an unending process. We keep working on it. There's no end to perfection. So, of course, our parents, and especially mom, is one of the most important aspects in anybody's personality. She is the only unconditional partner in life.
I wanted to mention.
Every relationship has conditions, between husband and wife, between the boss and the subordinate, between the father and children, anywhere, any relationship, customer and supplier. But there's only one relationship, unconditional, and that's the mother. And that is where we are here. We are actually trying to talk to women that you have such a superpower of becoming a mother and taking it forward to the next generations. You're creator of the future world. And this hashtag power is where we certainly, and I would really thank you, Samera. And one word which came up from Pranaya was happiness do not result what you get. Happiness results what you give. And mothers are givers. A woman is a giver. That is the salute to the women. That she is always giving. Even if the child is 60-year-old and she's 85, she will still talk to the child as a child. She's a giver all the time. And no conditions. She doesn't need anything in return.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you very much, Samera. I would say Samera is S is strong, A is attitude, M is motivated, E is energetic, R is rich, A is aspiration. I repeat, S is strong, A is attitude, M is motivated, E is energetic, R is rich, A is aspiration. For being on the show and sharing your journey of excellence. And of course, my 2 superwomen here, Shikha Gupta from South India and Pranaya from England. Fantastic moderation, asking questions. And of course, they are expecting that you will contribute to this hashtag Women Power. I am still into mid of events. We had last night a beach. I slept around 2:30 midnight and I had to get up for the show. And it was, I got up at 5 a.m. EST to be there. And I think 2.5 hours I slept. And today, tomorrow, we have events. Go back to New York, but I will probably be seeing you in Toronto, maybe around 20th or so. I'm not still sure when I will be there. I have other events also going on other side with some Bollywood stars. So that's another agenda of mine. So, Samera, you're fascinating, you're motivating, you are an inspiration. And I would certainly involve you. I'm not able to do during this visit the face-to-face event in Toronto, but around May or June, I'll be doing an event in Toronto, which will be a face-to-face event. And certainly I would like you to get involved with a couple of more women who are already part of us in Toronto. There are some wonderful women who have come on the show and who have been associated with me in Toronto. We call Toronto as Toronto, you know. All these Toronto people, they don't talk Toronto, they talk Toronto. And so that's how they speak. So thank you very much before I finally ask Anshul to come. So thanks a lot, Samera. Thanks a lot, Pranya. Now D,
Thank
I'm
you
taking
so much.
somewhere in Pranya there was D, but then she said D and you will be better. So I am not, now I am pronouncing it properly. But D was there already in the center, you know. You just see PRA, D in center, and YA. But then she said, you take out the D, then you will be able to pronounce my name correctly. Am I right, Pranaya?
Yes, yes.
And here is Shikha. So salutes to you, Samera.
Okay, well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure for me to just be myself and just be honored for my journey to date and what other things I can do with this movement of women empowerment. So yes, thank you so much for the opportunity and grateful for this platform and to be respected for who you are. You know, I think that's so important just so that you can inspire others. And as I said, at one point that you mentioned, the psychology of our future legacy is coming from the mother. So if the more empowerment and self-awareness we have, the more powerful we can be. And if we're giving that platform, so much more we can do in the world too. So thank you to work together with others.
Before I ask Pranaya and Shikha, I would like to have our Women Power. She completed more than a year recently to be the part of chapter of Mumbai, and she has done a fantastic work. Not a single Saturday has been lost. And Anshul Sharma, superwoman of Mumbai. And Anshul, this is how things are moving. And I have announced today, first announcement, 5th February 2022, first face-to-face event in Bangkok. The city I love. I have lived for 17, 18 years. Her Excellency, Indian Ambassador Suchitra Durai will be the chief guest, deliver the inaugural address. We'll have around 100 women. We'll have case studies. We'll have dance performances. It's a full day face-to-face event. I have announced today. And there are people coming from different parts of Asia to be part of this event. So that is an announcement already made. Yes, Anshul.
Yeah, so it's great. First of all, I am honored to be part of this show. And Samera, you are doing a brilliant job. And thanks to our Women Power, Pradnya and Shikha Gupta for having, such a wonderful expert speaker who has spoken on depression mainly, which has been affected to more than 280 million people across the globe. So it is a huge figure, and 5% of it has been, catered to only adults. So it's I would say, kind of pandemic that is, just clutching its hands on our mind. And normally in training fraternity, we call it mindful or mindfulness. So this is something we need to work upon. We need to just remove the clutter from our mind, which is full of so many other unwanted things, I would say, or unwanted thoughts, and keep our mind full with the positive thoughts and positivity that gives us happiness. And this is being, I think, covered in the discussion also. It's just, I would say, by chance that yesterday I spoke to one of the stranger who is suffering from clinical depression. And so I would say it is just, God is blessing that and law of attraction that today I'm able to hear your inputs on this. And so, one question comes to my mind that she's suffering from it and she knows it very well that I'm a clinical depression patient. And when I was talking to her, she was continuously, I don't know to whom she was talking, but she was saying, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. So in such a situation, Samera, like whatever I heard, you said that one need to identify first and accept it that yes, she or he is suffering from this particular issue. So now this girl has identified, but still she's not able to cope up with the situation. So is it only the medication or she need to get socialized? Because this is what I feel that if you are, see, most of the time what happened, we being so empowered women, but most of the time we are under guilt, also guilt of not being the perfectionist for the family, for the society, or even at the workplace. So how we can come out of that guilt syndrome that normally we suffer? So if in very brief you can tell about coming out of this guilt syndrome.
Well, I think the main thing is, being true to yourself with emotions. A lot of people are dealing with a lot of these things, and the concept that, or the statement you made that, oh, I'm dying or something's happening, that's because they're focusing on that negative thought. But also it's possible that they heard that too, because there's a lot of conditioning for these things, like they might be dealing with that from somewhere where they've heard it before. But the main thing is, for her to be to be understanding for herself, because she needs to do that internal work of why she's feeling so down. There's something that she needs to maybe forgive, or something else that's bothering her at a subconscious level. So maybe she needs some more counseling to kind of understand some things that she's gone through. I would say that maybe there could be some nutrition. Like, as I said, I look at things from a holistic point. As I said, I can't really comment so much, but maybe vitamin D, focusing on better nutrition, gut health. A lot of these things can also contribute, because a lot of the medications out there, they do a lot of research. As I said, they can help, they deteriorate the gut health over time. So it depends for her. But for her, understanding the different emotions and choosing something to go one level up from that, like taking small steps, not being hard on yourself. Because clinical depression, just even that clinical depression, you just think that you're labeling yourself. But, everyone has different times in their life that things happen to them. But we just put like a taboo, like, oh, I'm like this and I'm not going to be able to do anything else. But it's really about, understanding, acknowledging, yes, I'm in a certain situation, and then moving yourself to the next level, because you make the realization yourself. You can get yourself out from their thoughts, thought processes, and it's not easy. But she has to really understand that she's okay the way she is, because a lot of people, we're just reacting to things around us as well, which makes us depressed.
Okay, so I also felt that it is, sometimes whenever we are in sad mood, we get into self-victimization also, and we start,
Yes.
Feeling pity about certain things. Nicely covered by you, Samera, and thank you so much for #Women Power, a global movement started by Global Power Honorable Women Dr. D.K. Bakshi. And this movement, now we have got presence in more than 23 countries now. And the way we are moving, I'm sure we'll add one, we'll prefix one to it very soon. And
Mexico, I'm adding one more.
No, I'm not talking about the one suffix, I'm talking about one prefix. So we will have 123 very soon. That's what I'm saying. So, and thanks to Pranya and Shikha, and certainly humble thanks to Samera for being here on this show. And as Dr. Bakshi also announced that we are coming up with a physical event on 5th of Feb in Bangkok, and followed by an event in March in Delhi, followed by another event in April in Mumbai. Yeah. So please keep stay in touch with all of us, and keep supporting, keep empowering each one of us mutually, and definitely together we can make and create histories. And we are doing that. We are already doing that. So thank you.
Thank you, Anshul.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here today and bringing
Sure.
forward that very important question, especially which you spoke about the guilt syndrome. Thank you so much.
Very good. Yeah, Shikha, please close.
Thank you, DK Bakshi, sir. Thank you, Anshul, for adding that icing on the cake to this wonderful show. Samira, it has been a great learning experience. Trust me, there was so much of positivity, happiness, hope, light. Thank you for being the beacon across the world. And I'm sure we will leverage on you, on your support to spread women power, a global movement across the globe and have a global footprint. Pragya, thank you for being such an amazing host. And I look forward to hosting many more with you.
Absolutely. I had lovely time co-hosting with you, Shikha. Samira, once again, a heartfelt thank you from the bottom of for all our hearts for being here today, taking out time and sharing all the great insights and powerful ideas with all of us. DKG, thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
having us and giving us the opportunity and starting this movement.
Thank you so much. And my just suggestion and request, Bakshi sir, like probably with this forum, we will start one arm wherein we'll be supporting women, especially women or anybody for that matter, who's suffering from this particular, problem, so that we can help the humanity.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You can have a discussion with Samira and take it forward. She's part of the group. Why not? Ladies and gentlemen, next Saturday, 18th of September, 7 a.m. EST, 5:30 p.m. IST, Pooja Bedi is going to be with me. She is a very wonderful friend. She has been an actress, very powerful actress. And I have had very close relationship with her. And she visited us in Bangkok a couple of times. I took her to Dubai. And she's going to be part of our event on 18th, next Saturday. I'll be in New York. And it's going to be a very fascinating event. This is going to be the last event of 2021 so far as Women Power is concerned. Keep watching, and Shikha, close it now.
And we shall be back with a bang in 2022 to take women power to greater heights, to establish a global footprint. And all of you are with us in this journey. Stay tuned, keep watching, signing off. Take care, stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.